Now for the final video in our series on Alberta Science 9C3, Environmental Chemistry. Students will identify and evaluate information and evidence related to an issue in which environmental chemistry plays a major role. Introduction. Environmental chemistry is a branch of science that studies how chemicals interact with the environment, including air, water, soil, and living organisms. One important issue where environmental chemistry plays a major role is the use of insecticides to control mosquito populations. Mosquitoes can carry diseases like West Nile virus and malaria, so controlling them is important for public health. However, the chemicals used to kill mosquitoes, called insecticides, can also affect other parts of the ecosystem, including bird populations. In this section or video, we will identify and evaluate information and evidence related to how insecticides used for mosquito control may impact birds. Insecticides are chemicals designed to kill insects. Common types used to control mosquitoes include organophosphates, pyrethroids, and sometimes older chemicals like DDT. These insecticides are often sprayed in areas where mosquitoes breed, such as wetlands, ponds, and urban environments. The goal is to reduce the number of mosquitoes and prevent the spread of the disease. How insecticides can affect bird populations. Birds can be affected by insecticides in several ways. One is direct exposure. Birds may come into contact with insecticides by eating contaminated insects, drinking water with insecticide residue, or through their skin and feathers. It could be through indirect effects. Insecticides can reduce the number of insects available for birds to eat. In fact, that's kind of what they're designed for. Many birds, especially during breeding season, rely on insects as a food source for themselves and their chicks. A third is bioaccumulation and biomagnification. Some insecticides, especially those that do not break down easily, can build up in the environment. When birds eat contaminated insects, the chemicals can accumulate in their bodies over time. This process is called bioaccumulation. If birds are at the top of the food chain, the concentration of insecticides can become even higher, a process known as biomagnification. To understand whether insecticides have an effect on bird populations, scientists conduct studies and collect evidence. Here are some examples. DDT is a well-known insecticide that was widely used in the mid-20th century. Scientists noted that certain bird populations, such as bald eagles and peregrine falcons, were declining. Research showed that DDT caused eggshell thinning, making it difficult for birds to reproduce successfully. The chemical interfered with calcium metabolism in birds, leading to fragile eggs that often broke before hatching. When DDT was banned in many countries, bird populations began to recover. This is strong evidence that insecticides can have a significant effect on birds. Let's look at some more modern insecticides. Today, organophosphates and pyrethroids are commonly used. These chemicals are less persistent in the environment than DDT, but they can still be toxic to birds. Studies have shown that exposure to organophosphates can cause neurological problems in birds, affecting their ability to fly, feed, and reproduce. Pyrethroids are generally considered safer, but high concentrations can still be harmful, especially to young birds. Field studies and monitoring. Scientists monitor bird populations in areas where insecticides are used. They compare bird numbers, health, and reproductive success in treated and untreated areas. If bird populations decline after insecticide use, this suggests a possible effect. However, It is important to consider other factors, such as habitat loss, climate change, and disease, which can also impact birds. When evaluating evidence, it is important to consider, not just for this, but for any scientific study, you want to consider the quality of the data. Are the studies well designed? Do they use control groups and proper sampling methods? So, quick review. Control groups are groups that are not being exposed to or not involved in whatever process you're trying to check. So if you wish to compare how a vaccine works, you compare those with and without the vaccine. Those without are the control group. Proper sampling methods means you're getting a random repetitive sample, or representative sample, of the whole population. These are 2 points that Andrew Wakefield did not do well when he did his first study bashing the MMR, or measles, mumps, rubella vaccine. He did not have a proper control group. He was observing 8 or 12 patients in his care, somewhere in that neighborhood. And they were not proper sampling methods because the patients were responding to published ads saying, "Do you feel that you were injured shortly after a vaccine? Have you had a vaccine injury?" Consistency. Do multiple studies show similar results? Is it reproducible? That is the lifeblood of science. Can you approach the same topic from a different direction and get the same result, or are you maybe dealing with something else? Wakefield also struggled here. No one could reproduce his work. Causation versus correlation. So causation is when we have a direct cause and effect. One thing makes the other happen. Right? Throwing a ball or throwing a fragile piece of glass against a hard wall is going to cause its destruction. Correlation is coincidental. For example, drowning deaths increase with a strong correlation to ice cream sales. People do not serve ice cream at a funeral if the person who died was drowned. Nor are people more likely to go swimming because they've had ice cream. They're more likely to drown. They are correlated because swimming and ice cream consumption are both effects caused by warmer weather. So they are correlated to effects from the same cause. Some correlation is coincidence and not reproducible. Back to the specific one, causation versus correlation. Just because bird populations decline after insecticide use does not prove insecticides are the cause. Defense lawyers will be happy to point that out if you try to take the company to court. Scientists have to look for specific mechanisms, such as chemical analysis of bird tissues, to show direct links. Other factors. Environmental chemistry is complex. Many factors can influence bird populations, so it is important to consider the whole ecosystem. Conclusion. Balancing mosquito control and bird conservation. The evidence shows that insecticides can have effects on bird populations, especially when chemicals are persistent or used in high concentrations. However, modern insecticides are designed to be less harmful and break down more quickly in the environment. Scientists and policymakers must balance the need to control mosquitoes and protect public health with the need to conserve bird populations and maintain healthy ecosystems. To minimize harm, strategies include using insecticides only when necessary, choosing chemicals with lower toxicity to birds, and monitoring environmental impacts. Integrated pest management, or IPM, combines chemical, biological, and physical methods to control pests while reducing environmental risk. In summary, environmental chemistry helps us understand the complex interactions between insecticides and bird populations. By carefully evaluating evidence and making informed decisions, we can protect both human health and the environment. Let's check for understanding. What is the primary role of environmental chemistry in studying ecosystems? Is it to analyze the chemical composition of rocks, to measure the temperature of the atmosphere, to study the physical properties of water, or to understand the impact of chemicals on living organisms? Pause now if you need more time. It is to understand the impact of chemicals on living organisms. Which of the following is a common effect of insecticides on bird populations? Is it decreased food availability, habitat expansion, improved health, or increased reproduction rates? Pause now if you need more time. It is decreased food availability. If birds eat insects and you kill the insects, what are the birds going to eat? When evaluating evidence about the impact of insecticides on birds, which type of data would be most relevant? The average size of bird nests, the color of the bird's feathers, the concentration of insecticides in the bird's food sources, or the number of bird species in the area? Pause now if you need more time. It is the concentration of insecticides in the bird's food sources. Which of the following is a potential consequence of using insecticides in an ecosystem? Is it disruption of food chains, enhanced soil fertility, improved air quality, or increased biodiversity? Pause now if you need more time. It is disruption of food chains. How can scientists evaluate the claim that insecticides have no effect on bird populations? By analyzing the color variations in bird species? By counting the number of bird nests in urban areas? By measuring insecticide levels in bird tissues over time? Or by observing bird migration patterns? Pause now if you need more time. They can evaluate the claim by measuring insecticide levels in bird tissues over time. If there's no change, it doesn't seem to have a long-term effect we wouldn't see in the short term. If it keeps increasing, we have bioaccumulation going on. If you have any questions or any feedback, leave them in the comments, and I will try to respond in a timely fashion.